Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. I'm really starting to wonder if there's some sort of low-key invasion happening right now. And we've been showing a lot of stuff. You guys have been seeing it. The video we posted up yesterday featured some of the most jaw-dropping UFO captures I've ever seen. And today's video is no different. And today I want to focus on these lights in the skies. And I'll tell you, it really does feel like an invasion of these things because we're seeing them everywhere now. And in the videos that you just saw, and the videos you are going to see, will further prove this. So, the first 3 clips that you just saw was sent to me by a viewer in Massachusetts of these 4 or 5 craft, that he called them, that sat in the sky for 3 hours. So, from dusk until dark. So you can see in the first video where it's lighter out, the objects are sitting there. Fast forward to the next video, which was about an hour later. It's starting to get more dark, and yet the objects are still there. Fast forward another hour to the very last video where it's the darkest, and yet again the objects are still sitting there in the sky. Now the viewer said he has no idea what was going on. When he uploaded the videos and sent them to me, he muted the audio. So I apologize for not having audio, but he was with a group, and he said there were 4 witnesses to this. And they were all hanging out, and they were drinking, and that's kind of why he muted the audio. So I guess they were kind of being funny throughout it, but that's no problem. We care about the video here. So 4 witnesses saw these things, shifting and moving across the highway for 3 hours. And these lights are appearing everywhere. You guys remember the video we put up yesterday, where in which these lights, which has gone viral now, it's one of the most talked about UFO videos out there, where these formations of lights appeared over Florida, I believe it was, and you hear the crowd going absolutely crazy. If you haven't seen that video yet, go watch it. It's our newest video before this one. And then we had some more lights appear, this time over San Francisco, over the bay, caught on a weather camera for the local San Francisco news station, and that you're seeing here. So then we have another piece of footage to show you, of another formation of these lights, this time over West Kentucky.
What the fuck are those? What? There are 3 of them. What?
So the viewer said that he had pulled into a local high school parking lot, originally thinking that the lights he saw were recently turned off stadium lights, still partially glowing. And when he first pulled in, he said he saw 6 to 8 of these glowing lights in the sky. And he pulled out and captured this quick video before they disappeared as they moved out of sight. And again, West Kentucky. So we have West Kentucky, we have Massachusetts. And, you know, sometimes these things will be in formation. Sometimes they will sit silent and just sit there in the sky. And other times they will move out of sight. And again, these things are being seen everywhere. Here's another video captured over St. Cloud, Minnesota, from a viewer who's been seeing these lights in the skies for the past 2 nights. Yet again, we have another video, this time captured in the Detroit, Michigan metro area, of once again, more strange lights, causing mystery all over. And after you get so many of these pieces of footage showing the same thing, you know, I'm deadly serious. What I said at the beginning of this video, I am wondering what is going on. There's a lot of strangeness happening. Here we have some new images sent to me by a viewer in Australia. You remember we recently did a video on these strange circular cloud formations that are appearing all over the world. And apparently in Australia, they've been having some very strange weather in the south of Australia. And the viewer actually captured, off of the local weather radar, one of these strange rings appearing. Now here is the before shot, where the ring is nowhere to be found. And here is the next shot, showing another one of these rings appearing momentarily. And we've been showing you all of these images that we've been getting that are kind of freaking people out of these massive rings of clouds in the sky. Almost, some have said that these are the outlines of some sort of cloaked craft or some sort of after effect from a craft entering our atmosphere or doing something, at least, in our skies. And we've been getting so many images of these things. We got this one, once again, in Australia. This image here, captured in Australia by a woman who was driving down the street. The woman actually saw objects coming out of it. Then we got this image here, this time from the States, showing yet again another one of these circular clouds that do not blend in with the rest of the clouds that should not be there. And now we have another one caught on radar. And this is not the first time we've seen these strange rings appearing on radar, but it would appear that they are definitely happening over Australia, and now it would appear the States. So, very strange times, people. These lights are appearing everywhere. Like I said, I wanted to do a video on it to specifically address this phenomenon that has been happening over this past month. And I've probably got about 20 more emails with more footage that I'm going to be posting in a coming video, showing you more of these lights, more activity. I've gotten so many emails just over the past few days and so much footage that I haven't been able to get to all of it, but I will, and I guarantee you we'll have another video up tomorrow giving you even more footage, not just of these lights, but some very anomalous things that are happening. And I'm telling you, I feel like we're gearing up for something. And I've been getting a lot of emails telling me to be careful. Be careful, Tyler, about what you talk about. You remember we recently did a video about the UFO researchers, 2 of which have dropped dead due to mysterious circumstances just this past month. Max Spears being one of them, as well as another UFO researcher from India. And today I want to talk about another very mysterious death of another truth seeker who was murdered, and it was covered up to look like a suicide. This time it was a 9/11 truther by the name of Philip Marshall. Now, I know this is a UFO-type research channel, however, I have had long-held convictions about 9/11, and I firmly believe that 9/11 was, without a doubt, an inside job. And there's so much evidence for it being an inside job. From the nanothermite that was found in the dust at Ground Zero, that has been spoken about in countless chemical physics journals, to the thousands upon thousands of engineers and architects who have supported a real independent 9/11 investigation because they know that there's something very wrong. Or we could talk about the total collapse of World Trade Center 7, Building 7, that was not even hit by a plane. And the famous quote by Larry Silverstein and how he used the term pull it, which is a term used when they're about to pull a building using controlled demolition. Couple that with the fact that there is no other steel-framed high-rise buildings that have ever collapsed totally from fire or structural damage. And Building 7 wasn't even hit by a plane. They say it was small fires. Or we could talk about the fact that Dick Cheney, who was in command of NORAD on 9/11, was running war games that morning. And that there was a stand-down order when they were trying to send fighter jets out there to stop these planes. And I could go on and on and on and on and on. Hundreds of firefighters witnessed and testified to bombs and explosions that were happening inside the buildings before they collapsed, that were ignored by the 9/11 Commission. And the fact that there was molten metal everywhere, also ignored by the Commission. So, 9/11 is definitely worth your time when you want to do some real research into one of the biggest conspiracies that there is. And it brings us back to Mr. Philip Marshall, who was one of the leading 9/11 truthers. He was a former airline pilot and 9/11 truther who was found dead with a bullet in his head, and whose 2 teenage children were found with bullets to the head, as well as his dog found with a bullet to the head. And this was directly after this pilot, this great man, had recently published a new book talking about 9/11 and the fact that it was a cover-up. And the book that was put out by this man is called The Big Bamboozle, 9/11 and the War on Terror. And while he was writing it, Mr. Marshall believed that his life was in danger because of the allegations involved. and that during the editing and marketing process of the book, he expressed paranoia that he was going to be killed. So they murdered him. Another truther murdered a couple years back. His whole family wiped out. A man who said that he would never kill himself and who felt that he was going to be killed. He felt his life was in danger. And shortly after publishing this book, his entire family were all executed one by one, and of course it was blamed on Mr. Marshall himself. You know, it's pretty strange for a guy to do that, who just got done publishing a book that he had worked on for years, who had a wonderful family, former pilot, had no reason to kill himself, and just another victim of the government. So if you guys want to, you can go and check out this guy's book. So again, we'll keep this research going. We are not going to be stopping anytime soon. You have my word on that. So if you have your own footage of these strange lights in the sky, let me know. Shoot me an email. I will get back to you, I promise. So thanks to all the sources who sent in their footage. Strange times. I feel like something's coming, guys. So let me know what you guys think, and stick around because I've got a lot more coming. Stay safe, guys.